Hi everyone, Nicole Bowman here, and welcome to Live the Light. If you're brand new to the channel, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And for all of returning subscribers and listeners, thank you for your support. If you feel moved by this video, please share it on your social media because that helps the channel to grow and evolve. So I'm going to jump right into the video today. This audio video is based upon something that has been on my heart to share with my subscribers and to share with my clients for quite some time. And I was led to do this because over the years I've done readings, literally hundreds of readings on this subject that I'm getting ready to touch on. And there's some information from Spirit that they want you to know and they want you to consider. And that really is the topic of infidelity, specifically being the other woman in a relationship, meaning that you are in a relationship with a married man and trying to figure out how to deal with that, how to reconcile that, how to navigate that. And to be clear, this is not a value judgment on women who are involved with married men. This is not me, Nicole, telling someone what to do or what not to do. This is simply looking at it through the lens of Spirit, giving everyone involved information that they need to know, and hopefully helping you to evolve and make the choices that feel best for you. The important thing to understand is that all relationships in our lives are learning experiences and our teachers. And so, even relationships where there may be infidelity present, or there may be abuse present, there may be things present that we don't necessarily agree with, or we're morally conflicted about, a lot of times there is a lesson and a message in that. Now, to be clear, it's not about tolerating abuse, it's not about tolerating poor behavior or poor treatment, but understanding that sometimes when we are in certain relationships and circumstances, it is teaching us something deeper about ourselves. It is teaching us how to love, how to stand up for ourselves, how to understand what our life path and purpose is all about. But I was led to do this video because over the years I've read for hundreds of women who have been involved with married men. And what I found the vast majority of the time is that these men do not leave their wives. And in many circumstances, the wives know everything, meaning that they know and understand that their husband is involved with someone else. And they almost have an agreement or an arrangement with him and are willing to look the other way as long as he doesn't have children outside of the marriage, or as long as he doesn't publicly embarrass or shame them in some way, as long as he keeps it quiet. And a lot of times, the other woman, so to speak, is often flabbergasted and dumbfounded by this because she can't believe that the wife actually knows and chooses to stay in the marriage. And the important thing to understand is that when people get married, love for a lot of people is one of the factors, but there are multiple factors tied up in why people get married and why they stay together, even in unhappy marriages and unions. One of those reasons, of course, is to have children, to raise children, if they choose to adopt and not have them biologically. The other aspect of it is legacy building, wealth building, building a business. Some people, they want to keep their wealth within the family, specifically if they come from a family that is well off. So a lot of times there are a number of criteria tied up in who you marry versus who you date. And this is why a married man could have a great deal of passion and love for the other woman or for the mistress, but still choose to stay married to his wife and also love his wife as well. But I think for the other woman, it's really important to note and understand that if you get involved with a married man, you're going to have access to pieces of him and not all of him. And initially in the beginning, a lot of women are kind of aware of this or kind of vaguely understand this. But when they actually get into the thick of the relationship and real feelings start to develop, it's a lot harder to navigate and work through that. And so if you go that route of being involved with a married man, you have to go into it knowing and understanding that the vast majority of the time, he's going to choose his wife, he's going to choose his family, he's going to choose his career over you. And that may be a harsh reality to accept, but in many respects it is the truth. Of course, there are some circumstances where married men, they fall in love with the other woman and they leave and go on and have their own family and own relationship. But I have to say, in the majority of the readings that I've done, that is rarely if ever the case. Rarely if ever. And a lot of times too, a lot of these married men, they're having affairs with more than one woman. And that's another aspect of being the other woman. You may feel that it's just you and just his wife, and then you get new information that there's also somebody else in the picture on top of that. So you have to go into it understanding that this is a triangle, and sometimes it's more than that, and go in knowing that. And to be clear, this video is not necessarily directed to other women who go in with their eyes wide open, or married men and married women who have an arrangement. Once again, it's no value judgment, and I'm not the morality police. people feel and fashion their relationships how they choose to do, and that is their personal choice. But if you're going into it with your eyes wide open, you have a much better chance of coming out the other end a little less unscathed. However, if you're going into it kind of whimsical, and not really thinking about the consequences, and you just feel drawn to this person, and then get in hoping that they will leave the wife, you have to know that most of the time that is rarely the case. It's rarely the case. And I would say for other women, if you're going into it in that way, you may save yourself a lot of pain and save yourself a lot of confusion and a lot of self-worth issues by not getting involved with that married man at all. Because if you go into that, you have to go into a space of playing your position. And what I mean by that is knowing and understanding that his wife, his children, his business, his standing in his religious community, in the public sector, that's really going to come first. The appearances are going to come first over you. And what I do see is that other women who know that and are aware of that, they understand the arrangement, and and they work within that arrangement, and the wives who know understand that arrangement, and they work within that arrangement. But if you go into it with stars in your eyes, hoping that a person will change, hoping that things will shift, the vast majority of the time that's going to be disappointment. So you just have to know and understand that. And I would say, beyond, romantic partnerships and relationships, anything in life, you have to go into it weighing the pros and cons and go into it with your eyes wide open. A lot of times, people, women especially, I would say, but men too, a lot of times, when you go into any situation thinking of how you would like it to be versus what it actually is, looking at a person's potential versus who they truly are, that's when you get hurt. That's when you get disappointed. That's when you become deceived. So open your eyes wide open, because understand that intuition, psychic ability, that connection to the divine, it's really about seeing things clearly and dealing with the sobering reality of what is. Often in this law of attraction age, we often like to feel or fashion we can turn something into what we want it to be. And granted, we can improve ourselves, but we can't necessarily control other people. At the end of the day, their soul is going to do what their soul needs in order to grow and evolve. And if that's growing and evolving with you, it will be with you. If it's growing and evolving elsewhere, it'll be elsewhere. So, kind of keep that in mind. I just wanted to share that. And just understand one of the biggest steps in intuition and listening to the divine and really trusting yourself is seeing things as they are. And sometimes seeing things as they are, it's painful. It's uncomfortable, it's sobering. But if you see things as they are, you see the truth. You're able to move through that, and you're able to plan accordingly. So I'm wishing you guys the best. I am available for readings and more at NicoleBowman.biz. Also available for immediate sessions. Go to www.nicolebowman.biz to schedule or have an immediate session. And always remember to live your light, live your bliss, and love yourself. Take care.